Hi there and welcome back to my channel. This is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing I Know Who You Are, written by Alice Feeney. It's a mystery thriller. I've read 3 Alice Feeney books so far. This is the only book so far that's middle of the road. The other 2 books were amazing, this book not so much. It's a solid book still, I mean it's a good story, but there are things in there that just didn't work so well for me. And other books by the same author have been amazing for the whole story. But still an okay story, it's worth reading, and I'm still going to read more of Alice Feeney. Early on we meet Amy, who's an actress. Amy tells us that she's not who she says she is. She tells us people can't trust her, they shouldn't trust her, that she's good at acting, and she's really somebody else. We learn about that straight away from Amy. We also learn her husband's missing. She doesn't know where he is, and we also learn they had an argument the night before, a very bad argument apparently. But what's strange is her husband's gone, but his possessions, so his wallet, his keys, everything, all his possessions are there, but he's gone. So what happened to Ben? So that mystery about what happened to Ben is very chilling, it's very gripping, but the strange thing about that as well is there's no photos of him around. No recent photos. When Amy calls the police and the police arrive, they ask for a photo, but she can't find one. There's only this strange photo of a 5-year-old boy that Amy says is Ben, but no other photos of him. That's strange as well. So who is this Ben? What does he look like? It seems like nobody really knows. Nobody knows where he is. He's completely vanished. It's like he's been abducted by UFOs or something. He's just gone without a trace. So that present timeline is quite gripping, quite engaging because of that whole mystery about where is Ben. That's the most gripping thing about it. So Amy in this present timeline, now we're told she can't be trusted. She becomes unreliable as a narrator in the story because of that. But just her reactions in the story. Now, my expectation is that her reactions should be a bit more emotional, but it's not. I understand why, because in the past narrative, so this is a split story, we have past and present narrative. Things happen to Amy in the past narrative, and she becomes closed off. She learns to shut down her emotions, and that's how she acts in the present timeline. So that's consistent to the character in both timelines. So I understand that, I get that. But in this type of book, that reaction, that character reaction adds a lot to the story. And this kind of closed down reaction, even though it's consistent to the character and it's true to the character, and it's good that's there like that, just felt a bit low key for me. So that's just a personal expectation. I understand it, but I just want a little bit more, if that makes sense. So talking about the past timeline. So in the past timeline, we have Amy as a child. I'm not going to go into all the things that happened in the past timeline because I found it okay in some ways. There are things in there that aren't very gripping and engaging. It gets repetitive though, I think a bit long-winded in that past timeline. But you understand everything about Amy in the present timeline because what happened in the past. I'm not going to tell you what happened in the past in this video. You have to read this to find out. But what happens to her is, quite shocking in some ways as well. So I just like how that Amy character remains consistent in both timelines. That was well done, I think, in the story. We also learn that Amy has a stalker in the present timeline. That adds more atmosphere, adds more chills, more suspense, because you wonder who this stalker is, and could this stalker be responsible for Ben's disappearance? This adds more to that mystery. And the police seem to ignore Amy about the stalker. They think Amy's responsible for her own husband's disappearance. So in this present day timeline, there's an atmosphere build up because of Amy's reactions in the story. How Amy reacts to her husband's disappearance builds atmosphere. It builds how characters in the story view Amy as well. So it adds a lot to the overall mystery. That's why the present day timeline for me is the most engaging of the 2 timelines. I really enjoyed the conclusion in this story. It goes off the rails, it goes a little bit bonkers, but for me it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the stories go off the rails a bit, it doesn't work, but for some reason this one worked for me. I found it engaging, I found it surprising and shocking, but I also found that I was hooked into it. I really believed that twist and it just worked for me. So I know some readers don't like that conclusion in this story. I can understand why, but I do like the conclusion a lot. So first off, Amy. I've noticed that this author begins protagonist names sometimes with the letter A. There's been a few of them. So in Rock, Paper, Scissors, we had Adam and Amelia. In this book, we have Amy. But anyway, as a character, I think she's very consistent. She is well written. That whole thing with her being shut down a bit emotionally in the present day timeline. It's so consistent to the past timeline. And maybe not what you expect. It wasn't what I expected in the story, but I understand it, I appreciate it, and I think it did work at the end, because it drove other characters to think of her suspiciously. So it does work for the plot. I think she's a good character. I think she's good in the way that there's doubt about her. Having her being unreliable in the story worked in this book. I think she's a good character for this story. Jack is interesting as a character. He's almost written like a stereotype. So he's almost written to be kind of like that actor type you think about that's all about ego. Every decision is driven about ego, getting ahead, getting face in the press, getting face in the media, that sort of thing. It comes across like that for a lot of the story. But there's slight little tweaks with him as well. He can be compassionate, he can be caring. So there are little things that round him out nicely in the story. So interesting as a character. Little surprises, I think, for him when you read this book. Croft is the detective in this story. I found her character a bit annoying, actually. Every scene she's in, she's smirking. She smirks all the time when she talks to Amy. It's almost like the author's trying to give us the impression this character knows something, knows some big secrets about Amy or Ben's disappearance she's not giving away. Every scene. I found it quite annoying. It wasn't clever to me. It was unusual. So as characters go, this character wasn't that good for me. And also the whole police work in this book wasn't that good. So this character gets let down in a few ways in this story. Even though I didn't love this book, I still enjoyed it a lot, and I rated it a 3 out of 5. This author can write so well. It's a shame this book is not written as well as other books that I've read from the same author, but still an enjoyable story. I still recommend it. If you like this author, go ahead and read it. Don't expect a fantastic story, but just expect a good story. It's solid. There are good things in there, good character build-up. There are some shocking things as well. You may like that ending or not. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I think it's worthwhile reading. On my channel, I review many mysteries. If you enjoy mysteries, check out my channel and subscribe. On the screen now is a link to another video for a book I'm sure you'll enjoy.